Hi, I'm Wendell Steinhauer, President of the New Jersey Education Association. NJEA is committed to celebrating excellence in education. That's why we're proud to support Teacher Appreciation Week, a special series produced by the Caucus Educational Corporation celebrating New Jersey's talented and dedicated teachers.
Funding for this edition of One-on-One with Steve Adubato has been provided by the New Jersey Education Association, Wells Fargo, NJIT, New Jersey Institute of Technology, PSE&G, committed to improving New Jersey's economy and strengthening its communities, Virtua, MagnaCare, and by Cohn Resnick, Accounting, Tax, and Advisory, where forward thinking creates results.
This is One-on-One. I'm an equal American just like you are.
The jobs of tomorrow are not the jobs of yesterday.
Look at this. You got this?
Here it is, man. Look at that.
Life without dance is boring.
When you first heard that they were doing Charlie Rose and Gayle King, didn't you go, what?
Do you enjoy talking politics?
No.
People call me because they feel nobody's paying attention.
Our culture, I don't think, has ever been tested the way it's being tested right now.
Such a good question. High five.
Welcome to One-on-One. I'm Steve Adubato. We're pleased to introduce one of the great educators as part of our series we're doing that honor the great educators in our state. Robert Clark, who is Director of Bands at Long Branch High School. How you doing?
I'm doing well, thank you.
This is part of our series we're doing in cooperation with the New Jersey Education Association. Classroom Close-Up, a great series on NJTV, right?
Wonderful.
In about a minute, we're going to be seeing a video of you doing something with smart music.
Smart music, yes.
What is it all about?
Well, it's the classroom is changing, and we have to keep up with the changes. So technologically, smart music is an online tool where we use it to kind of gauge the students' progress. They have method books that we used to use. Used to have to go to the music store and buy them. Now they're all online, and a student can kind of play into the computer. They can play it back. They can maintain it online as a portfolio of their accomplishments. Tells them which notes they're getting right, which notes they're getting wrong. They could send it to me. I use it as an instructional tool. And I'd say about half of my music library is also on smart music. So anything I assign for the band to play, they can access it and use it as a rehearsal.
It's exciting.
Tool. It's great.
You ready to see this video?
I'd love to.
It helps tell the story from Classroom Close-Up?
Yes.
Let's take a look at the video.
Art education is important. The music education is ridiculously important. The students can succeed because they feel secure here. They feel secure enough to experiment, to fail, and they have enough pride to want to get better.
For Robert Clark, helping his band students get better is a top priority.
Be careful with your anvil part. You have to listen back so that you line up with the quarter note triplet.
Okay.
As director of bands at Long Branch High School, Mr. Clark rehearses with the marching band both on and off the field.
Let me change that.
He's also using some interesting technology during rehearsals.
Okay, moving through. Here we go. Nice, you held it till the end. Look at you with
The software they're using is called Smart Music.
Okay. With smart music, there is immediate feedback. When a student is looking at the screen and a note shows up green because they played it correctly or red because they didn't, that's immediate. But there's other benefits. The fact that they could use smart music as a practice tool and slow it down if it's technically difficult, that's a really good thing.
With smart music, you always have the specific tempo that you have to go off of. So there's no way of us getting off of tempo, and it makes it easier to learn our skills.
Okay, so now here's guard staggering out.
Robert also uses computer technology to help the marching band develop and practice their routines.
With the group, we were just going over one of the videos of Pieware. What you do is you input their show, and there's a computer-generated depiction of what they're supposed to be doing on the field.
The software does help. It helps when it comes time for how to get from one spot to another, like for motion, because we can't get that from the pictures. So like, using the software, you can see, okay, they took this route or a certain path to get to your spot.
The
highware for our marching band charts. If you're ever really stuck on a chart or you just can't seem to remember them, you could just, watch that video over and over again and, just watch how the charts go into each other, watch your individual dot.
In practice this week on Wednesday, we have to make sure that we have a strategy to develop the arch here. Tools like Smart Music have been incredible, and using a program in marching band like Pieware, where I could actually give the kids a vocabulary test to see if they understand the language or the latitude and longitude coordinate sheet. That's a change, but I think one of the things it's done is it validated arts as an important part of the music curriculum. Okay, cool. Let's do song 2.
It's fascinating stuff.
It's good stuff.
How long have you been doing this?
I've been a public school teacher for 28 years.
Still passionate?
Still passionate.
Why?
Because there's so much out there now. It's an exciting time. I was always excited about being a band director, but I don't think folks understood what we did. And now that kind of education has become a data-driven world, things like Smart Music help me amass data, and it's great when I could walk into somebody without an arts background and show them graphs and pie charts of accomplishment and growth and maintain these online portfolios. It's wonderful.
Who are the students, Bob, who actually, I don't know, I want to ask it this way. Is there a typical student who joins the band?
I don't know if there's a typical student. I know
what kinds of students join the band?
Kinds of students join band who are the kids who want a challenge. I think that a lot of the bright kids just migrate towards challenging activities, and band students are the ones who show up early, they show up prepared, and that's kind of all the lessons that are inherent in a band class.
Are they a family?
Very much so.
They're really a family?
They're really
How
a family.
So?
No real learning can take place, I believe, without a strong relationship. And with a lot of these students, I meet them when they're in middle school because I go down and bring them along. I'm lucky enough to be in a school district that finances a summer arts program, so I teach them through the summer.
It's a big deal.
It's a big deal, and I have a 4 to 5 year relationship with these students and their families, so it is a family.
How supportive are they of each other in terms of the relationships they build?
Just like a family. We celebrate each other's successes and the little bumps in the road we have to handle as well. And it's good because in a band class, the leadership is inherent. Kids kind of come up, the freshmen kind of learn what to do, and then you start to see the shoes open up and they have to fill the shoes of those who have moved on. And it's really a good system.
Well, I'm curious about this. How do you think that young people, the young leaders, because they are, who are in band, are seen by most other kids, most other students in school? And has that changed?
No, it hasn't changed in my school. I think it's the culture of the school. Are
they respected in your school?
Very much so.
They're respected, revered. Hey, those kids are in band. That's a good thing. It's a great thing.
It has always been that way at Long Branch High School. The arts successes are celebrated with the academic and sports successes equally. And it's great.
And let me ask you this, the technology and the fact that you're teaching more and more with this technology, is it making being in band even more interesting?
I think it makes band more accessible.
Accessible?
Smart Music. Long Branch is a high needs district. I think right now in my band program, I have 1 student who's studying privately. So the fact that I have this and I have after school time where they come in and I could put them on a programmed method book outside of the curriculum, outside of the course. They could come in and they could gauge their own progress, and I could come in and facilitate that. And without the technology, I really didn't have that option before.
I'm curious about this. You talked about natural leadership within band, so I want to ask you this. The most significant lesson you've learned about leadership being the band director, for how many years again?
At the high school, this is my 18th.
Most significant lesson you've learned about leadership is, particularly among young people?
Is to really be forgiving. Be forgiving. And leadership, because they come to you with all different problems, and you have to let them work through some of those problems so that they could realize their own potential. And I think as long as you create the culture where they could fail a little bit and then build up confidence, they could assume leadership roles.
Last question. Public school teachers, the thing you're most proud of in terms of being part of this group of professionals is?
And that we offer what we're supposed to be offering, a free and public education. And I teach with some of the strongest people and educators, especially in a high needs district, that you could ever meet.
Still love what you do?
Absolutely.
How many years again you've been doing it?
28.
Robert Clark, one of the great public school educators in our state and nation, director of bands, Long Branch High School. Thank you so much, Bob.
Thank you.
Stay with us. We'll be right back right after this. Thanks, Bob.
To see more one-on-one with Steve Adubato programs, visit us online at steveadubato.org. If you would like to express an opinion, email us at info@caucusnj.org. Find us on Facebook at facebook.com/Steve Adubato, PhD, and follow us on Twitter at Steve Adubato.
We are pleased to be joined by Randy Wallock, who is the co-advisor of the TEDxYOUTH Club at Lawton C. Johnson Summit Middle School in Summit, New Jersey. We're about to show a clip from the Classroom Close-Up series about these TEDxYOUTH Club operation. Describe, what is it?
Well, for the past 4 years, we've had sanctioned TED Talks in our school where we
By the way, for those who don't know what TED Talks are all about,
a TED Talk
I don't want to assume.
Okay, absolutely. It's on a national stage. They get some of the greatest minds, innovators, inventors. They bring them together, give them a 20-minute platform, and then they do these subgroups. Those would be the TEDxYOUth, or the TEDx groups, and then within that, there's TEDx.
How could kids do this?
Watch the clip.
No
they
way.
Do an amazing
Are
job.
you saying kids are involved in this very prestigious TED Talks operation?
In our school, they run every single aspect.
Does the Classroom Close-Up video prove it?
It certainly does.
Well, let's find out.
All
Let's
right.
take a look at Classroom Close-Up and all about TED Talks with kids.
Perfection. Perfection is one of the most complex terms in existence. It is only an idea, and a false one at that, because it
This is Lily. She's a 7th grader, and she's not reading cue cards or a teleprompter. The story she is telling is more like a talk. In fact, it's a TEDxYOUTH talk.
So can you talk about your conclusion a little bit so everyone can get...
Randy Wallock and Janice Kavanaugh are co-advisors for the TEDxYOUTH After School Club here at Lawton C. Johnson Summit Middle School.
TEDx is entirely student-driven. We have auditions. We take 10 students who present actual TED Talks. And then we have about 8 other students that produce every other angle of the production.
TEDxYOUth is part of the nonprofit organization TED, which is devoted to spreading ideas through short, powerful talks. TED began in 1984 as a conference where technology, entertainment, and design converged, and today covers almost all topics and global issues.
This year's theme is I Have a Question.
What is perfection?
Who are we?
Do I see what you see?
Whether a universal language is good or not.
They come to us with these different ideas, and it's not working with a 12 or 13-year-old. They are equal, and as the year progresses and they become experts in whatever they're learning, they know more than we do.
It's actually taught me a lot about myself. I've learned how to kind of motivate myself and just decide to work and not to procrastinate, because you are given that decision all the time.
Tonight, I would like to share my knowledge with all of you of how to become self-motivated.
There's an air of confidence. The ones that know they did it, it is a badge to them.
Everything that you will see, hear, and eat tonight is at the hand of the producers.
The start of an official universal language will slowly make the beautiful variety of our world vanish.
We have 12 and 13-year-old kids. They sound like NPR reporters.
I no longer care if one line isn't perfectly straight or if I get a 6 out of 10 on my English reading quiz, because I am never going to achieve perfection.
Once we see them up there, and especially they're comfortable and they're relaxed, it's incredible.
We're taught an abundance of subjects in school, but none of them are focusing on how to thrive when interacting with different people.
I love it. It's the smartest 2 hours of my week.
In everyday issues, people feel so strong about their cause in a controversial topic that they fail to recognize how other people feel.
It's what, in some utopian society that may never exist, education should be.
Work hard, dream big,
be open-minded, be happy, and most importantly, be kind. Thank you and have a wonderful rest of your evening.
Well, I'll tell you, that's amazing. And as someone who's taught and coaches and writes about communication and presentation, I'm blown away by what I just saw. So for these young people involved in this extraordinary journey, this process, this challenge, what do they take away from it?
I think they gain quite a bit of confidence. I think they learn how to work through not being perfect. A lot of times these are the kids that get 97s and 98s and always do incredibly well on tests and everything's very easy. And I think for a lot of them, it's the first time they hit that wall. It's the first time they can't do something repeatedly. I think it gives them a sense of humility. And when they finish it, a tremendous sense of accomplishment.
You know, it is so interesting because so many adults in professional life, any walk of life, it is the ability or the inability to get up, present, connect, engage, persuade. Where they fail, they falter, they stammer, they just can't connect. What you're doing for these young people is giving them a skill set and the confidence for a lifetime.
And it's pretty amazing what they walk away with. It's incredible how well they adapt to the program and the standards, and every year increase our expectations. So it's an incredible
Who are the kids?
experience.
Do they self-select?
We do auditions. Every year this year we selected 15 and 10 will present. They'll find out who's presenting in the next couple of weeks.
Why did you decide to become a teacher?
I was a terrible student.
Get out of here.
I was a terrible middle school student. I had an awful middle school experience. I just couldn't find anything that clicked. So as I got older and I began to love education, I sort of found out that a lot of it had to do with teachers. And the ones that I did meet along the way who had an impact had a profound impact. So my grandfather was a teacher, my mother was a teacher, and at some point I realized that I think it was a little bit in my blood and just sort of destined for me to follow in their footsteps.
So for you, when you see these young people get up and do what they do under this pressure, and they have to then do it, I mean, they can practice, but we've also seen a lot of people practice and then, you know, you'll see it in the Super Bowl. We're taping after the Super Bowl. You see people do really well in practice, and then, you know, you see people practice, these young people practice, and what happens sometimes if they don't perform when the time comes?
Well, the whole goal is for it to be a talk. So we always discuss the idea of having tethers instead of a memorized speech.
So it's not a performance?
No.
So make it clear to people.
Yes.
Not a performance, a talk, a conversation.
Exactly.
Which psychologically and emotionally, for those of us who are in this field, makes all the difference in the world. Explain that to folks.
Well, I think instead of the best of them are not memorized speeches.
That's right. That's the danger.
Yes.
You get stuck, you're dead.
Exactly.
Go ahead, explain it.
So many of them still will rely on that, but the best that we've seen are the ones where the kids become so familiar with the content that they give something that's unique every single time they do it. And their 99th time doing it is different than their 100th, which is different than the one they present to people. And those are the ones that are most comfortable and engaging.
It's a conversation.
It is a conversation.
It's a talk.
Exactly.
Which is by far the best way to connect and communicate.
Yes.
Well, you are really helping these young people in so many ways. It's a powerful tool, and we wish more folks would be doing this. Randy Wallock, who's over at the Lawton C. Johnson Summit Middle School in Summit. Well, thank you for doing what you're doing.
Absolutely.
When I heard they're doing TED Talks for kids, I go, no way. And now you just proved it. Keep doing what you're doing. Thank you.
Great. Thank you so much.
We'll be right back right after this. Great stuff.
Yeah, thank you.
To see more one-on-one with Steve Adubato programs, visit us online at steveadubato.org. If you would like to express an opinion, email us at info@caucusnj.org. Find us on Facebook at facebook.com/Steve Adubato PhD and follow us on Twitter at Steve Adubato.
Steve Adubato at the 2015 NJEA Convention. We are honored to be joined by Chelsea Collins, the 2015-2016 New Jersey State Teacher of the Year. How does that sound to you?
Sounds incredible. It's quite an honor.
You're not only the Teacher of the Year, are you actually the youngest Teacher of the Year?
I don't know about that. I don't know. I'm completely honored to have this role at this point in my career. So.
You're only 29?
Yes, I'm 29.
It's amazing. We're the same age. I don't know how that works out. That's so impressive on so many levels. Now, give folks a sense of where you teach, who you teach, because we're about to show folks a clip from a great series called Classroom Close-Up, which is produced by the NJEA, and it features you and your colleagues. Talk about where you teach.
I teach at Woodstown Middle School. It's in Salem County, and I teach 6th grade language arts. And
go ahead. By the way, real quick, you got into teaching because?
I got into teaching, originally I was actually in business. Ironically, I worked in Atlantic City, here where we are today, and my niece was diagnosed with leukemia. I did some soul searching, and I ended up going into teaching.
Well, Chelsea and her colleagues make a difference every day. That is why Classroom Close-Up was created by our friends at the NJEA to tell stories, powerful stories on public television, about teachers making a difference every day. This is Classroom Close-Up. It's a story about Chelsea and her colleagues.
I just wanted to start with a couple book talks. I think a couple people had signed up. We're going to start with our Harry Potter book talk. So Molly had signed up to do Harry Potter.
People who would like it are like people who enjoy adventure and some short mystery, and like it's really a chain of events, so it'll keep you reading.
The recipe for reading, I would say, is high interest books in students' hands, discussing books on a daily basis, especially those high interest books, and getting students to think deeply about the books, but also building them up and getting them excited. This isn't another task for them to do. This is something that's going to, be beneficial to them now and in their future.
So I think reading is like a springboard for like writing and like informational stuff and like PowerPoints and projects. So that's why I really love reading, because you can do so much with it.
Hi everyone, can you hear me okay?
Yes, we can. So we have a combination of 8th graders in here. Some of them have read your work already. Some of them are excited to read your work. And all of them here, though, are even more excited for your next series that's coming out.
We make authors like rock stars in our classroom and really try to build that buzz around reading so that they're excited to do it. A lot of times people are in our classes and they're surprised that, I'll say get on the blog and whoosh, out comes the cell phones and they're on our blog and they just do it right in class with their cell phones. That's the way of the world today. I get authored tweets on my phone and emails, and I check blogs on my phone as well, so let's show students that that's a great way to fall in love with reading and stories and things like that. And you can be blogging about your independent reading book once you submit your comment.
You look at the different kind of authors' works and you're like, wow, that's pretty cool. And the writing we do in our language arts is topics that are interesting, that you get to make up your own story, and that gets everybody excited.
As an educator, every day we wake up and we want to influence students' lives. And the reality of it is some things they're going to leave remembering and some things they're not. But if we can leave and have a child love reading and just have this intrinsic motivation to pick up a book, then we can sleep at night knowing that, we've really touched a child and that they are going to be continuing to learn not only inside of school but outside of school as well.
Thank you so much for everything. You have a huge fan club here.
Thank you guys so much. I had so much fun. You have no idea.
Now, Chelsea, what we just saw in Classroom Close-Up is obviously incredibly interactive. How did you develop that approach?
It's such an exciting time to be a teacher today because, we're building students to be successful 21st century learners, and we're able to connect with students using iPads and their cell phones and things that they have readily available to them. So we're really able to build a love for reading using their cell phones and blogging and Twitter and Skyping with authors. So it's really exciting.
But hold on, wasn't it established early on that educators should not have teachers having their kids using cell phones? And but I'm seeing the kids with the cell phones and using technology. How does that happen?
You know, cell phones are really the way of the world, and we're lucky that we have information at our fingertips. So I think it's important that as teachers we embrace that, and we teach students how to be, you know, culturally responsible with technology, but also use it as a tool in our classrooms.
And you find that they're not distracted?
I don't know. You know, we have a bring your own device district, so it is, you know, not really taboo for students to have cell phones out in class. And, you know, with that comes great responsibility, and they're expected to use it appropriately, and they really do. So we really just, you know, look at it as being an asset and look at it as being a way that we can engage students in their learning, and they really step up to the plate with that, and they use it for those reasons.
Talk about a convention like this. I mean, you are the Teacher of the Year. You're one of the younger educators at this convention. What responsibility do you feel with that moniker, with that title, and the fact that a lot of people are looking at you and what you do and how you do it?
It's an honor to, you know, have this title at this stage in my career, because I feel like I can represent the passion that young educators have for this profession, and hopefully I can serve as a mentor and a model for how we can collaborate among various ages and levels of experience to better education and for our students.
What do you love most about teaching?
My kids. Hands down is just being in the classroom with my students and building lifelong readers, because I know that when they leave my classroom at the end of the day, if I've, you know, instilled a love for reading in that child, that they're still continuing to learn outside my classroom doors, and that's just so exciting.
Thank you for what you do every day. Appreciate it, Chelsea.
Thank you.
One-on-One with Steve Adubato has been a production of the Caucus Educational Corporation, celebrating over 25 years of broadcast excellence. Funding for this edition of One-on-One with Steve Adubato has been provided by the New Jersey Education Association, Wells Fargo, NJIT, PSE&G, Virtua, MagnaCare, and by Cone Resnick. Promotional support provided by the New Jersey Business and Industry Association and by Politicker NJ. Transportation provided by Airbrook Limousine, serving the metropolitan New York, New Jersey area.
I think at NJIT there are a lot of smart students.
I came to NJIT for mechanical engineering because within state it's one of probably the top 3 schools for engineering.
It sort of creates a friendly competition where you know you can learn from them.
It's a great academic school.
I feel I'm being challenged, but at the same time I love the classes I'm taking.
The atmosphere of being here is like being at an upstart company. It's that same kind of drive, that same kind of passion.